Hello. So in my last video, I talked about Amazon KDP. I have the link to that below in printing out that book. So in short, I'll be very, very brief. Amazon KDP, very easy to use, wide audience, free to use. Some cons about it. It only works for Amazon KDP. You do not get advanced reader copies. Proof copies have this god-awful watermark on it. Yeah, those are the primary, really, really big reasons I was not a fan of Amazon KDP. Oh, all in under a minute. Good job, Faith. Okay. Oh, there's a dog outside. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I have two books here. One is from Barnes & Noble's Nook Press, which is their self-publishing company. One is from LuLu, which is another self-publishing or print-on-demand company. Either way. So the reason I even went with these two is, one, I tried to do Ingram Spark. Okay. Ingram Spark, it was very difficult to use, still is difficult to use, and I'll go into that. So then I still needed advanced reader copies before the release of my book that I needed to give to reviewers and bookstagrammers. So then I tried Nook Press and LuLu. So before I go into these two and compare these two, let's just start with Ingram Spark. So Amazon KDP and Ingram Spark are usually the two things that are compared with the most because they have the widest distribution channels. Again, I have my whole video on Amazon KDP, but with Ingram Spark, very difficult to use. Very difficult to use. I don't think it was meant for individual indie self-publishers. I think it was meant mainly for publishing companies or small publishing companies, but it wasn't really meant for individual use. So it's very hard to use. A lot of glitches into the site, at least for me. And I don't know if it's because I've made this video during the pandemic, or if that's just how they usually are. But a lot of glitches. So I would fill out my information, submit it, and there would be no changes. So then I had to reach out to customer service and say, hey, what's going on? And their explanation was, oh, there was a glitch. So then I had to do the process all over again. And it's very time consuming. It takes a long time to get your manuscript onto the site. By a long time, maybe like a week or so. And to get it approved, to get the cover approved. Yeah, that was annoying. Also, it is not free, so the barrier to entry, you do have to pay. So if you wanted to do your ebook and your paperback, it would be $49. Just your paperback, I believe, is also like $49. And if you want to make any changes to your book, by changes, I'm talking about if you needed to upload a new manuscript or a new cover, that would be a $25 charge. So you need to know from the start if this is a complete project. And I still have been struggling with pricing and the information to get a copy of my Ingram Spark book before its release. So I don't even have a version to compare with. So Ingram Spark, there are some huge benefits. So a lot of bookstores and just other retailers will buy books through Ingram Spark. So I definitely recommend having Ingram Spark, but unless you have a lot of wiggle room to really mess around with the site to get it working to how you are, if you're kind of close to your release date, I would not recommend Ingram Spark per se. Would not. All right, so that's Ingram Spark. There are obviously some benefits to it that I just explained. But Ingram Spark versus Amazon KDP, I think if you're a new publisher and you're really just trying to get your book just kind of out there, I would definitely focus more on the KDP side and less on the Ingram Spark side. But again, it works differently for everybody. I'm doing both, which you can do. So you can have your book on Ingram Spark, and you can also have it on Amazon, so long as you have your own ISBN number, one. And Amazon, if you upload your book on Amazon, even though it's being distributed through Ingram Spark, Amazon will sell their version of the book on Amazon. So Ingram Spark, you will have it on other retail sites. They will distribute your book on other retail sites, but Amazon, if you do it on Amazon, you will keep it on your site. That's great to know. What else is there? Okay, so I can't compare a physical book because it's just been very difficult to use with Ingram Spark. So we're going to skip to, which one's which? LuLu and Barnes and Nobles. So again, I will have the original cover up so you can see what the original cover was supposed to be. Both of these books, similar to Amazon KDP, have that skin soft-ish feel to it. So again, I don't know if that's just completely unavoidable, but they both have it. I don't mind it, but other people might. What I do like about both books is that the spines are smaller. I don't know if it's the paper quality that Amazon has used, but for whatever reason, let's just bring it out. Amazon spines are just bigger. So I don't know if they just use different paper quality. I don't know what they do. But yeah. But since their spines are smaller, my book cover doesn't overlap onto the spine, which is great. And this one's Barnes and Nobles. So in terms of pricing, Barnes and Nobles and LuLu Press, way more expensive to buy pre-order copies and more expensive to print. So to print a book, the printing cost to print an Amazon book is about $5. These two books, I believe LuLu might have been like $7-ish. And Barnes Nobles is about $6-ish. I went through individual printing for these books. I went through individual printing for these books. By individual printing, Barnes Nobles has the option that if you're doing a book and it's kind of just for you, you can just order a single book. Mainly because I didn't want to go through the process of saying, oh no, I want to put it on the market. I was lazy. I didn't feel like doing that. LuLu. Honestly, the LuLu process, I really rushed through that one. And I really just kind of did both of these to compare the covers. So, the thing with LuLu, I hope you guys can see. LuLu is the darker one. I don't know why it came out so dark. And again, the original book cover is an orangish cover. So, Barnes and Nobles was kind of accurate towards the book cover. LuLu, on the other hand, it just came out red. Just straight up red. Can you see? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it did that, but it just comes out straight red and super dark. I mean, the shadow, I know I'm supposed to have shadow, but the shadow came out really, really dark. And because the book was supposed to be lighter, I made the font black in the back. But because this book cover came out dark, it's hard to read. Compared to Barnes and Nobles, where since it came out lighter. Oh, wait, I did a white font for this one. Why did I do a white font? Oh, yeah. Through Ingram Spark, you still have to do they highly recommend doing a black font for any font that is less than, I believe, like 24 point or something like that. But I originally had a white font. So that's why for Ingram Spark, I originally did a black font, but again, I don't have a book to compare. Sorry. Either way, yeah. The font, well, it's white, so it's kind of hard to compare for that. So we'll just stick more with the front cover. Yeah. LuLu, much darker, much redder. Barnes and Nobles, it has a greenish tint. You may not be able to see it too much, but her skin here has a very greenish tint that I'm not really a fan of. compared to Amazon KDP, where her skin is much more just brown. So I'm not really a fan of this greenish tint that Barnes & Noble's does. So overall, in terms of comparing these three books and Ingram Spark, I definitely would recommend going through Ingram Spark if you want to at least entertain the idea of having your book available on multiple channels. But you also have to be realistic as a first-time author. What is your following like anyway? You know, are you gonna likely have a lot of people going to these different channels to get your book? If you don't think that might be a possibility, but anything is possible, of course. But if you don't really feel like doing the effort to make that a possibility and you want to stick to Amazon, Amazon KDP does deliver a great product. I already gave my warnings about Amazon KDP, but it does deliver a great product with the exception that they don't have an advanced reader copy, because that drives me crazy. Barnes & Nobles and LuLu, if you're only giving advanced reader copies to some individual bookstagrammers and some individual reviewers and influencers, it's very easy to just get your book printed. And I used the same format that I did for Amazon KDP, and the book came out fairly similar. So, yeah, you can do that. But in terms of the quality, they're good quality books by all means, but in terms of the book covers, I definitely do lean towards Amazon KDP. But again, Barnes & Noble's, Nook Press, and LuLu also, these are great books. These are nice style books as well. So for the most part, I'm very happy with going through each of these services. I wish I had an Ingram Spark book to show you as well, but I don't. But it's still super exciting regardless to see your book in your hand. So congratulations to all those who are on a similar path to mine and have gotten their book ready to be printed. It's exciting. It's very exciting. So this should be my last video. Well, yeah, this is my last video of how I wrote Sprint Dreams. Overall, I'm very happy with the process I went through. Plenty of times that there were headaches and that I wanted to give up. I wanted to fail. I didn't want to fail, but I felt like I was going to fail, but I didn't. And I'm very happy that I did it. You can look at my entire process of how I wrote Sprint Dreams from beginning to end throughout my YouTube page. And if there's any other questions you have, of course, feel free to answer them down below. So follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Make sure you get my book. I'll use the Barnes & Noble's version. Make sure you get my book. It will be available on Amazon June 1st. Yeah, I'm excited. You should be excited. I'm so happy you guys have been there on this journey with me, and take care.